Hello, my name is Curtis Andrews and I'm a licensed financial professional. This video is for educational purposes only. If you're a retiring school teacher, there's a major decision ahead of you: how to structure your pension. Most educators are automatically guided toward the safe survivor option, but many never discover the no survivor option that can sometimes create more income, more flexibility, and more long term control for your family. Don't take my word for it. Listen to Doug Andrew explain it in detail. He breaks down the strategy in a clear, simple, and eye opening way that every retiree deserves to hear.
Folks, in this episode, I'm going to show you how to avoid buying the most expensive life insurance policy that many retirement school teachers are forced to buy, and they don't even know it, with absolutely the stupidest inflexibility that I would never accept if I was buying a normal life insurance policy. So get ready. I want to make sure you understand this. If you're a school teacher, police officer, firefighter, or somebody that works for a major corporation that gives you a pension based on years of service, this is for you. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and prepare for a comfortable retirement. And many times when people come to me, I learn that they have a defined benefit pension because they have taught school for, let's say, 30 years. Or they were a police officer, or a firefighter, or they worked for a major corporation like Harley Davidson or whatever. Now, let me make sure you understand what I'm talking about. A defined benefit pension, they used to be way more popular than they are, but that means the benefit is defined based upon usually years of service, okay? So I'll give you a formula, an example of this to keep it simple. Now, to be honest with you, a lot of businesses did not like the responsibility of managing pension funds. And so when 401ks were introduced, a 401k is not a defined benefit. When you take money out of a 401k, they don't tell you how much money you will get and the cost of living increase you can have that will be guaranteed the rest of your life. That's not a defined benefit. That's called a defined contribution plan. With a 401k, you define how much you're going to contribute, and whatever return you're going to get is what you're going to get. And they will not guarantee you any type of an income until you die, unless somehow you take the money in a 401k and put that out into maybe an annuity that if it runs out, they'll keep paying you that income, but usually it's not a very good rate of return, okay? So that's the difference between a defined benefit pension and what a lot of people today have, which is a defined contribution plan. The most common is a 401k. Now, many times when I'm interviewing people at retirement, they'll disclose to me that they taught school for 30 years. Okay. So then I teach them about pension maximization. My favorite financial vehicle to optimize assets and minimize taxes is a properly structured maximum funded IUL, Index Universal Life. It's like a financial Swiss Army knife. It has all kinds of uses, but it's the dream solution for those of you who have a defined benefit pension to come out way ahead instead of taking the state's option for survivor benefits. So I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. And let's say that the school teacher in this example, let's say is a wife, and even if she's 55 now, she tells me at age 60, I can take a defined benefit school teacher pension with no survivor benefit, meaning if she dies, it ends, okay? And deposit that difference into the IUL plan. That's what I'm going to recommend she does. Why? Because this is what usually happens. When she turns 60, this is normally what happens. The human resources, the retirement specialist there for school teachers calls her up and says, hey, we want you to come in so you can understand your pension options. And be sure and bring your husband. Now you'll see why. So she brings her husband and they sit down. And they say, you taught school for 30 years. In this state, which is very common, what I'm going to use as an example, in this state, You get 2% for every year of service. You taught school for 30 years. 30 years times 2% equals 60%. You're entitled to 60% of the average paycheck you got the last 5 years you taught school. So, let's say the average was $100,000 a year income. So 60% of that is $60,000 a year. That would be $5,000 a month. Are you with me? Okay. So they'll say, you will begin to receive $5,000 a month in a defined benefit pension. Now, if you do the math, $5,000 a month times 12 months in the year is $60,000. Let's see, your life expectancy, if you're healthy at age 60, let's say is 20 years. 20 years times 60,000 is 1.2 million. That's a lot of money. Don't you want to share that $1.2 million asset with your husband here? Boy, do they put you on the hot seat. And what are you going to say in front of your husband? Yeah. Well, then here's how you can share it with your husband. Instead of taking $5,000 a month, because there is no survivor benefit, if you die, it ends. If you'll take a reduction, let's just keep it simple. Instead of taking $5,000 a month, you take $4,000 a month. If you'll just go down to $4,000 a month, and then if you die, we'll keep paying that $4,000 a month to your husband as long as he lives. Or maybe we'll pay him 50%. It's called a 50% survivor option. We'll pay him $2,000 a month for as long as he lives. And a 50% survivor option lets her have a little bit more money, maybe $4,200 a month or whatever. There's usually about 6 major options. Those are the 2 most popular: 100% survivor benefit or a 50% survivor benefit. And if they go, does that sound fair? And if you nod your head up and down, they're going to go, hot diggity dog. And you just bought the most expensive life insurance policy with no flexibility you'll ever buy. Because if you think about it, in order for your husband to get that survivor benefit, you have to die first. If you don't die first, your husband does, and you then die, your kids don't get anything. There's no, they don't get to be a beneficiary. The money's gone. If you got remarried after your husband passed away, you can't name your new husband as a beneficiary. It only lets you name one beneficiary, and you have to die before them in order for them to get it. What kind of a life insurance policy is that? I would never buy one like that, okay? There's no flexibility. And so what I'll usually say is, what I would recommend? You take the $5,000 a month, no survivor benefit. And you already thought maybe you could get by on $4,000 a month. So let's take that extra $1,000 a month, and let's put that into a max funded IUL. And now you have that money available if you need it or your husband needs it. But if you die, then the death benefit on this will give your husband a lump sum. But if your husband dies first, you still have the money that goes to your children. Your children are not disinherited from this. If you don't have any children, it'll still go to somebody. It'll go to a church or a charity. You get to name who gets it, but you're not giving it up. But your money is going over here into an insurance policy where you are in control. Would you like to do that? Now, I've never had a school teacher who understands and says, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I just want one of those very expensive insurance policies the state wants to sell me. Folks, this is incredible. When you understand how to optimize assets, if you have a defined benefit pension, don't get duped into taking the no survivor benefit, actually being switched to a survivor benefit by taking a reduced amount and then having no flexibility. You will be duped, okay? They will make you feel guilty if you don't share that, but don't you get caught up in that rhetoric from the human resources department, because they're coached on how to get you to buy that life insurance that has no flexibility.
If you'd like
So
to
if,
explore this further, reach out to me today in whichever way is easiest for you. Scan the QR code to schedule a Zoom conversation with me. Quick, simple, and on your terms. Send me an email or give me a call. I'm Curtis Andrews, and it's my pleasure to protect your tomorrow today.